I'm Hart Inlow. I live here in Hobe Sound. I first got involved in this project fairly early on. I saw a piece in one of the local papers about some cleanup that was going on out here at the cemetery. And I have a special interest in cemeteries. I'm, first of all, a genealogist, and genealogists tend to be kind of addicted to cemeteries. But I'm also a pastor. And I think cemeteries are very, very special places. And I was sad that this particular cemetery had been neglected, had been allowed to fall into disuse, because it loses, that's the loss of something very important in a community and in the lives of people. So I wanted to be involved in somehow seeing what could be done to get it restored, vital, active again. And it's been very exciting to me to see that happen. I'm out here today to take photographs of the grave markers that we've been able to locate so far. There are a couple of websites where these grave markers can be very, very valuable to genealogists and to families. One of them is Find a Grave. There's another, a newer one, billiongraves.com. And what's going to happen, I'm going to take the photographs of these markers, and with one of them particularly, it's going to embed in there GPS locator. So we'll take the photograph, it'll be identified by the GPS locator, and then we'll transcribe the information, those that we can read, from the headstone onto the website, and it's going to eventually be a digital field survey of this cemetery, of the sites that we've been able to locate so far. So that's my task today. But overall, I'm just excited and very gratified to be involved in the process of getting this cemetery renewed, helping to restore its significance here in the Gomez community, and to the people who have family and have celebrated both life and death here in this place.
We came as a support for our not only community, but for the church that used to be here. As children, we both attended that church at some point during our lives. So we felt that it's part of our history to pass down to our children and grandchildren.
Our goal as descendants, as a community, is to restore the Gomez Cemetery, find the names of the persons who are interred here, and have their names recognized, have their legacy recognized in this community. We want to build the history of this community based upon the persons who are interred in this cemetery. These are some of the first pioneers who moved into Hobe Sound numerous years ago. And we're talking maybe around the late 1800s is where we're talking, from the point of their lifespan until later on to the 1950s and 60s.
My dad, my family is here. The Jones family is here, and I'm here to help clean it up, make sure that it is presentable. And for my children and other people to come down and see what our heritage is all about.
Lila and I were little girls growing up at this church under the leadership of my dad, Joseph Berrien, Reverend Joseph Berrien. So again, we're giving back to our community, going back to our roots, making sure that we take care of, our beginnings.
We just want to basically get involved with the community, do what's right for the community and kind of bring the community back together again.
This is a historic cemetery. It's been well overgrown, and just to get down here and jump in and help clean it up and to give back to my community.
This is a very important thing that they're doing here today in order to clean the cemetery up, and hopefully one day they'll have it registered as a historical cemetery.
I grew up here in this church with my grandfather as a deacon, Anderson Holland. My grandmother was in charge of the Missionary Society.
My siblings, my mother, we all went to church here. And the last pastor that I was under here was Joseph Berrien. And I was actually a Sunday school teacher here before going off to college.
This is just like home. I remember when this was the only cemetery and everybody that died had to be buried here.
I remember walking by and thinking, wow, this can happen. You know, a place where we are buried and spend our final days or whatnot just becomes abandoned. And I remember saying if there was ever an effort to get involved, I would. And as things went over the next year or so, I ended up meeting a few people who were involved. So I knew I was going to get involved myself. I was thankful to meet the organization in Lloyd, and they pulled me right on in. Today, we did a little bit of cleanup, but we put a mailbox up. One of the first times I've ever done that. So I'm here representing myself. I'm here representing people who have lost loved ones and like to visit them when they come when they have an opportunity. And I'm here representing Hobe Sound Community Presbyterian Church.
It's just great to be involved in anything that has to do with Hobe Sound. You know, Hobe Sound is our home, and it means so much to us. And I remember coming to this cemetery as a child and seeing all this overgrowth, thinking, what a tragedy. And it is such a neat thing to see the people of Hobe Sound coming together to do something really special to beautify our town. So I'm glad to be a part of it.